There we are. Hi everybody. That was an absolute disaster because Sammy jumped in at the end and made it 5 to 6 people and ruined all the scenes. Thanks, Sammy.
You told us how you got it all better and it would never happen again.
No, it won't happen again. And then it fucking ruined it because I added Sammy and forgot that. Oh, I'd say blame MathPig, but this time we're blaming Sammy.
The audience voted. That was a lie.
It was all your fault. So, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for coming. We've got Peter jumped in, Sammy's jumped in. We've got Eyes for Empties, who is the man who makes the backing music that you were listening to right now. And as usual, like a bad rash, we've got Dave.
Pardon me?
I said Dave's a bad rash.
Okay.
You're cool because you made the music, and Dave's a bad rash. And
For that, I'm going to animate myself to annoy you.
are you going to animate yourself into a bad rash?
No. Have my space moving.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you've broke it. Now there's nothing. Now
Yeah,
you're backwards.
all I know is that the video on my StreamYard is frozen. So hopefully you can still hear me.
Yeah, we can hear
yeah.
you okay, man. You haven't had him on it. You haven't had a picture up for a while. So, Peter, you are the main man that's got all the secrets about Arti. So rather than interview Arti... Oh, have I lost my camera? Oh, no, it's back. Rather than interview Arti, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, Peter, have you an embarrassing story about Arti?
No. What?
No.
Self-explanatory.
Shit your brain pan.
He's got video of me with a gun.
He's got video of you with a gun. Speaking of videos of you, yeah, I've seen that video. That was very interesting. I showed that video to my woman's dad today, and he's a wee tiny Hitler fan. And he's not a Nazi or anything like, but yeah, we'll not go into that. But he loved that man. Absolutely. His foot was tapping. He was tapping the table in the kitchen and all. He absolutely loved that video.
That was pretty funny.
If I show it, we'll probably get taken down. Though.
It was funny until YouTube took it down for hate speech. It's back up, but it's unlisted because they're going to take it down again.
It's just so funny that they took it down for hate speech.
There's no hate speech in it.
There is no speech.
No,
There is literally no speech.
How did it not get copyright claimed, but it got taken down for hate speech?
It didn't get copyrighted.
Well,
Video for music that we don't fucking own the rights to, and it got taken down for hate speech.
to be fair, I've posted quotes to Donald Trump and had my account suspended for 3 days, gone to Facebook jail under hate speech laws. I'm like,
I can't comprehend how I have not been banned from Twitter at all.
Yeah, God got banned off Twitter the other day for calling them a dick.
Yeah.
I got a week.
Do you know what I said today? I said to someone in the morning that I said to Lizzie, I think it was, that she should go and tell someone that was trolling her to go fuck themselves with a rusty bread knife. I mean, how am I not banned for that?
You got what?
He got
why am I
it
not
was a
banned?
bread knife, not a stick knife.
a
I
rusty.
wasn't a roast beef knife.
I got 7 days for. I thought it was pretty obviously a joke, but somebody didn't. I said that you're talking to a flat earther, and I said that your knowledge of physics, I forget what it was. It was something about whoever taught you physics should be shot in the face in front of their family.
That got you a week.
That's a little extreme.
And I got a week for that.
I've had rows with a flat earther in real life at work when he started the conversation about how the government's been hiding all the oil and all this here, and I called him a conspiracy nut and made a joke that about the flat earth, and he was like, no, it's flat. I was like, what? He started throwing his wallet up in the air and asking me to prove gravity. And over the course of about 20 minutes, it got to the point where I turned to him and I told him to get the fuck back into his fucking lorry and go learn some fucking maths, and then walked away. About 10 minutes later, he came back and he goes, what's your thoughts on the moon land? And I was like, man, just walk away. Just walk away.
You should have dropped something on his head.
Oh, that reminds me that I turned off my camera on another interview with a guy that was a 9/11 denier, and I know at least 3 people that died that day, and my brother knows way more than that because he was in finance. I was not going to talk to somebody that was just that detached from reality and willing to be that insulting to the memory of all those people. Fuck this, I'm out. I can't. Nope, not doing it. Don't have a brain sample suitable for that.
I get that about once a month when I meet a Holocaust denier.
Mm-hmm.
That's shocking.
The-
See, the numbers are that high. See, sorry.
You asked me earlier about where a lot of the people I have arguments with on Twitter come from. A lot of them come from fucking Peter. And I have to be careful with that because I have to ask him whether or not he's trying to cultivate this person for an interview or not. If I can't figure that out for myself, because last thing I want to do, given how hard it is to get people that are willing to talk to either of us, let alone me, I just can't. I do have a tendency to be a little abrupt if somebody's being harsh with my voice.
Yeah, I'm, as I said to you, man, I'm known as Switzerland, but I really do not want to be known as fucking Switzerland. I have opinions, but at the end of the day, I do understand, as you just explained, you have to find that point because some people do be fucking snowflakes, and if you tell them to go fuck themselves a few too many times, they leave.
Yep. Yeah, no, I was surprised that Johan was willing to talk to me because I flamed up on him a couple of times just trying to poke the bear a little bit before the interview. But the second time that I did it, I was like, that one might have been a bit much. And like 3 hours later, he responded to me and he didn't cancel the show. And I said, okay, well, then he knows what he's in for.
He comes across as a condescending.
Has one big problem, and that is that he talks at people, not with them. So he might not have seen most of what you wrote.
No, he was way more interested in
one or two words. Yeah, he will read 1 or 2 words and then respond to those and discard the rest of the tweet.
How is his English? Like
everything just.
How is
goes
Johan's English? His English is dead on. Now, I've watched the first interview you did there. But
I have a question.
Can I finish mine?
Does anyone know who? Maybe. Go on then.
All right. Johan's English comes across as a condescending asshole. He laughs at some of the things that you say to him as if he's not taking it serious, and I feel that he's using your channel as an excuse to get out, as to get the word out to.
Oh, I think we both knew that.
Everyone is.
I think Peter and I both knew that that's why he was showing up.
Yeah, but the fact that he laughs at you is disrespectful.
Oh, that's why it makes it so easy for me to just we're just gonna laugh at things we think are funny. All right.
Right,
he's actually proud that he has 1,500 court cases against him. He's got those in file folders saved, and he will show them to make sure that this is the court case that the church and this is another church, and this is
That's
a guy
evidence
who
to
worked
him. That's
with
evidence
that.
he's true. Sorry, Dave. Right, go on ahead with your question.
I'll be right back.
Does anyone know who Brett Keane is?
Yes, we all know who Brett Keane is.
Do you? I don't. I
What?
only found him earlier.
You only
Don't
found
speak
you don't
for all of us, MathPig.
right. Who does not know of the walrus?
The walrus?
The Walrus and the Carpenter.
Oh my goodness! Right, hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can do this without wrecking everything.
Chico and the Man.
Right, hold on. I can't. Dave, where have you been, man?
Beirut in the 80s.
Oh, I don't.
You don't go
I
down
tend to
them
watch
rabbit
people
holes.
I want to support.
What?
So I don't tend to go looking for arseholes.
But that's
I
where
have
you
to come across
find.
the arseholes.
That's where you find the fun.
Yeah,
I find most of my fun on Twitter.
I'm not sure it much matters what you go looking for. It's just what you found.
Today was the first time I saw him on Demi's new Great Debate.
That was
Right.
it. Right, this man's been going for an awful long time. Sharing screen, sharing to, hitting share. Right. Do you see the manatee? No, he's not a walrus. He's a manatee.
There you go.
See this one.
Uh-huh.
He is a. Well, why is there not a picture of him?
To be fair, he was a big deal.
He
2.5
lies on
years.
his bed. His camera angle is insane. No, look at this angle, man. He lies
Not
on
a
his bed.
man, the manatee.
He did just become known as the Manatee.
Yeah, he is the manatee. He lies on his bed with the worst camera angle possible.
He's the inspiration for the artwork that from the what was the guy that plays the computer games from South Park. Just the
Yeah.
smeared human being.
So I literally have to have my laptop running the YouTube stream to know what you're talking about.
Dave.
Yeah.
Dave. Can I suggest not mentioning that Demi just started the new Great Debate community and that everyone is allowed to go on there, because I know what that guy's going to do if he
No,
hears about that.
I'm wondering how that's
Who's
more
talking
entertaining.
at
But she's
the
running
moment?
it as a completely open hangout all the time now, 24/7, I think.
Yeah?
Well,
She needs
It's
to
not-
swap from bloody
it's not
StreamYards to
it's not
Zoom.
completely open.
Demi, if you're listening, if you want to run that 24/7 and you want other people to moderate, you need to swap from StreamYards to Zoom. Other people can be in charge then and pop people in and out. That's what you need to
I don't
do.
know how seriously she's taking it is the issue.
Did the UK have a children's show called Zoom? Because the United States did.
No,
No.
we don't. And saying that, Dave, yes, I agree with you. This is a dig. This is a
Is that
continuation of the drama.
Nickelodeon show?
The issue
No.
is, as much as I think the idea was a dig, I think some of the older members of the Great Debate community are taking it quite seriously.
I
It
would
was on
assume so.
The electric company.
But as Arti put across, me, Dave, I mentioned earlier, me and you have had this conversation. We go back and forth on the topics, we discuss our opinions, and at the very end of the conversation, we usually end with, isn't this a wonderful big social experiment to watch?
Exactly.
Every now and again, throw a wee spoon in there or throw something in there just to see what'll happen. But it's one big social experiment, and it's fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
the idea of a shit sandwich isn't to eat it.
Oh,
It's
oh,
fake.
oh! Auntie's coming to DaveCon.
Who?
Demi.
Holy Christ on a stick.
Really?
I want to
No,
meet
it's
her.
Christ on a
Do you?
cross.
Yeah.
Artie, they're flashing.
She named
I-
she named one of her videos the other day, I'm going to game because I have no content. And I think that's the only real time that I agreed with her. Now, I love the bones of Demi, and she does, she came into my Discord, she was nice and all the rest of it, and I find her a nice person when I'm talking to her. But the Steve drama needs to die. It needed to die 6 months ago.
So it won't die for another year.
Oh, don't say that.
Peter, I'm going to shoot
And
you.
then
She's among the easiest people on the planet to manipulate. The fact that she's not a diehard Christian or some fucking raging cult member of some sort astonishes me. because she's anybody who's got a kind word to say about her, she glams onto for as long as she can.
Well, I'm just going to put this out there on that topic. The only person who I find no, that's going to be a bad statement. The most up the middle person I find would be Nate Brody. I think his coverage is very good. I've liked Nate from the very moment that I seen him when he streamed from his holiday on a fucking cruise liner on his mobile. Really bad audio, and him and Drag, I think it was Spooky. Well, it's all blame Spooky. But I've liked Nate. He's been very up the middle and up front from the get-go. I think he does want a little bit of a dig in, but if somebody annoys you, everybody wants a fucking... We're all human. But the content he puts out, I think, is very up the middle. The evidence is very good.
Yeah, Nate did a great coverage of the whole thing. No drama involved. He's actually going to be on our channel, and he's going to be discarded because he's going to get some artwork from me, and
that'll just put him to
Heretic.
Yeah, you're fucked now.
I don't know if anyone watches Heretic.
Yeah.
Heretic is one of my all-time favorites. Yeah, people won't talk to Heretic because they got an intro from me.
That's
Go
insane.
figure.
That's I don't know, if me getting an intro from you has put me and made me ostracized, then I feel sorry for the people who have ostracized me, because that's not the point.
Did that happen?
Well, I don't know if it has happened or not. Oh my goodness, what just happened there?
Arti fell off. He does that every once in a while. So that could be one of few things. It could be that his internet is down. It could also be that SWAT's nearby and he needs to go.
It's his hat. It's obviously his hat. Just don't tell him when he gets back.
And so when SWAT's nearby, normally the camera will stay on and Eddie will take over, which is a massive improvement when you're talking to someone. Oh, he's back. Oh, I hope you didn't hear that. By the way, I do have footage of what he just did when he dropped off. Hold on.
Yeah. I love this. This is one of the funniest things I fucking did. Nobody gets this joke except for Peter. I made this video in May, and it's me pulling this Christmas tree out into storage.
You stole his Christmas tree.
I'm dragging the cord around the corner. I dropped one of the balls on the floor on purpose. I didn't know if the microphone would pick it up or not. A lot of fucking shit went into make that stupid joke that one fucking person thought was funny.
So it's worth dropping your balls on.
Carl is watching. So Carl is also set up in a way.
Yeah. Just so.
If you watch Artie's videos, you need to have a look at the background because there's a lot of stuff going on in the background.
I thought that they were soundboards that you had behind you were actual soundboards, and then you must have farted or something and they moved, and I realized it was a sheet.
Yeah, no, it's this is the Indiana state flag, and this is one of the quotes that
I'm sideways like all people in Indiana.
Yeah. Well, it's Mike Pence country, man. We don't nothing goes on here that I rent this house from an Amish guy. That's the other reason for my name. The biggest reason that I don't use my real name is that it's legal for the Amish guy to not rent me a house because I'm an atheist. So,
yeah.
What the fuck?
What's more astonishing is that not only is the Amish guy renting a house out to an atheist, but this atheist actually electricity electricity and internet.
But does the Amish guy?
House.
Well, to a degree, I'm sure he does. I've never met the guy. I just know. I know a lot. I know Amish. I just don't know this guy. But what is funny is that on every light switch in the house, where the words on and off are written, the switch is mounted upside down, so that when you turn it on, it says
Oh,
What?
no. It says no.
and fuck off the other way.
Well, the other way it says
If you turn it on upside down, you get no.
yeah. Yeah, no, he's
Sometimes complaining.
I think the English language freaked out Dave. He didn't know what happened there.
I give him full marks for creativity and intentionally wiring those things upside down. Although it might be his god that makes my camera blank off and on.
That god must have also made Dave's laptop. Have you heard Dave? Dave's laptop mic is in the middle beside his spacebar. Who the fuck puts a mic in the middle of a keyboard beside a spacebar?
It sounds like his it sounds like his keyboard has a lavalier microphone for itself.
Yes, it does.
You should see Dave's new setup, man. If you're not subbed to Critical Cripple, somebody put Dave's link in the frickin' chat. If you're not subbed to Dave, sub to Dave. Dave hacked this certain program. He's got a quiz and all coming, man. It's gonna be great. Sub to Dave. Everybody should sub to Dave.
If you don't follow Dave on Twitter, you'll never see any of my shit.
And we should all chip in maybe to get some kind of ring for Dave to put his ball in so he won't fall off.
Did you watch that wee snippet
Funny
video?
that.
Did you
I'm not
watch?
allowed to sit on the ball for 2 weeks.
The flying head.
It was,
Oh, bloody hell. I went in to look at that great debate community. I'm there for 2 minutes. Someone says, "Oh, I like your name." And someone else goes, "Are you Dave? I saw a video of you, your head flying off."
Oh, see, now you made it. That's the video you got famous for. So
Yeah, no shit.
And if nobody has seen the video, I just posted it in the live chat. It's absolutely hilarious. And do you know, Dave, I was explaining, me and the girlfriend's dad were talking about this earlier. Do you know what makes it funny? It's the fact that you go back about 3 inches before you actually go fucking clean off the ball. It's like, holy
Because
shit, is this happening?
To go.
Pardon?
Because I moved to get something.
Yeah, I know. It looks like you sort of go back in the chair or the back in the ball and you're like, oh fuck, is this happening? Fuck it is! Whoosh! And you're gone.
He's a witch.
Do you know what? I don't know. We're all. Let me see. Can I do this?
Don't you wish you'd had it on the 6 layout at the time?
I haven't cut the frickin' scene for 6 people yet because I just haven't been arsed. I know, it's really annoying. It's really annoying. Let's not talk about
Dinosaurs.
tack issues.
Anybody else want to sing the George of the Jungle song?
George.
The jungle.
You can be George of the Jungle. Watch out for that tree.
Right. Have we all seen this?
Dinosaurs into the Bible.
Watch Dave.
And our answer tends
Okay.
Really small dinosaurs. That's how.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
You draw them really small, yeah.
It's best
Two-dimensional
if you keep them in a warm, dry place.
You know, sometimes they make stamps that you can
The floating head
just, you can
just
push
took
down.
off. Sorry, Tom. The floating head just took off as if there was a blow of wind. Blew it away.
I did no way fell off the ball. It's cute.
That's totally on record too. That
No
is
way.
brilliant. Your head just went whoosh. It vanished.
Yeah, I was listening. I was cooking or something during that, and I heard what you were talking about, and then I had to go back and rewind it so I could see what the fuck you were talking about.
Well, at least you're getting out and about, Dave. They know you as the floaty head now that falls off his balls.
I've been on board stream as a floating head.
Oh.
Well, you fuck one goat. You know what I'm saying?
You're forever the goat fucking guy.
Right. Now, Carl has been, in all them videos Peter's been popping up, a lot of them have Carl in the background, and you avoided the question earlier. Come on, tell us about Carl.
Carl is the result of. Remember that ex I told you about that? But by the way, the thing that went unmentioned in that story is that that bitch has got a dog.
Yeah, there's nobody watching this, man. They're all watching something else. There's only 6 people here now, and probably they're all on the panel.
And Nerdy's not really here. He's in the 2 other things I'm watching.
Oh yes, and Nerdy's not listening, so we can say anything we want about Nerdy. Gio's here. Hi, Gio. Thanks, and Rory. Jeez, we have 2 actual people watching.
Can you guys imagine?
Where should I be?
Anybody else think that maybe it wasn't my fault that the story didn't get told?
I don't talk that much. My woman calls it verbal diarrhea.
Yeah. That ex had a very good sense of well, I assume she still has a good sense of humor. And which is why I thought my answer was funny, though truthful, that she didn't have to live the rest of her life with me. But I was not prepared to get kicked out of the house that day, but whatever. Any rate, 5-6 years ago, she asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I was probably drunk high at the time and said a giraffe, and she said a giraffe, and I said, sure, doesn't everybody want a giraffe for Christmas? That's where
most people.
I seen that movie. Yeah, that guy lost a giraffe head on the motorway.
Yeah, so I got a giraffe for Christmas. Oh, and one of the other things I asked her for was I asked her for sock monkey pajamas with feet. And this is just the only part of it that I'm prepared with. I got those fucking pajamas.
I love your hats, man.
This isn't even the good one that I'm using. That's in the Twitter. This was the hat, or the top of the pajamas that were inspired by the hat that I already have. That's on my Twitter account.
Your camera flashes nearly as mine autofocuses.
I have yet to diagnose why the fuck it does that.
Yeah, I know. I use it as an excuse so I don't have to come on camera. I really like the floaty head.
I like the floaty head. It's if nothing else.
You look like Mr. Peanut.
It looks like you've got an uncomfortably Hitler-esque mustache given certain angles, but aside from that, either that or an X-ray.
That's so true.
Either that or it's an X-ray where we can only see your uppers.
I do want to make it into an actual pig. That is the plan. Like.
You're better suited to it.
The plan is to make it into this. Excuse me. I really need to keep muting when I cough.
No.
Yeah, where's your cough button? Come on, I thought you were a professional at this.
That's my new avatar. You laugh. I think it's damn cool. You laugh.
Well,
you would think it's damn cool.
You've dramatically thinned the head, haven't you?
I was going to say, the more I look at that, is that head the wrong size?
Yeah.
Tiny bit small.
It's been pinched like a Barbie. When you push the ears of a Barbie together, that's what you get, is that face.
Well, that's the exact copy from my icon.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Is your head too small?
Because it looks stretched out.
There's my icon.
It is stretched out.
And then we stuck it on the top of me. This is actually a copy from me. That's me at a wedding.
It's been top to bottom.
What?
Yeah, that's squished.
It's been stretched up and down.
Ah, man.
Well, you have to fit the proportions.
You can make it bigger without stretching it, can't you?
Well,
I'm not the cleverest son of a bitch you ever met, but come on.
Hold on. The person who probably made it may be in the chat. Are they in the chat? He's in the chat. The person who made it is in the chat. My artist is in the chat. Eases and works. There you go. They all hate your icon.
What's so fun. It's no fun to insult you if you can't defend yourself. That's not true. That's not fair.
No. Well, I fucking absolutely love it. I've put it on everything. I think it's brilliant. And I actually have that outfit. I have the waistcoat. I don't have the pink shirt.
I figured that by the way you defended it.
Yes, it is a picture of me at a wedding, and I literally stuck my icon's head on it. And I stuck my icon head on it, and I went, can you make this into an avatar? Okay, he's actually saying it is the same size as my head. So my head in real life is too small. That's the problem.
Well, your head's too small then. Fix that first.
I need to grow a bigger head.
Just go back to the original roundness. He's described it as considerably rounder than that ovular thing.
Pig heads are wider than human heads. So it should be wider.
More circular. Even more circular than he'd here.
Right. Well, I'm sure that everybody, I'm sure he's heard you.
And now hates us.
And now hates me. Hates us all. Sal is very thick-skinned, though. Sal takes criticism very well because, like, did you see the ship he built or the ship he built? Look
again, I'm flabbergasted that he built that shit from your diagram.
Stop talking about my diagram.
Stop. What goes on in that guy's head to produce something that good from your diagram is a fucking miracle.
It's because me and Sal know each other. That's what it is. We're in tune. Sal knows exactly what I was looking from my head. Right. Where is the picture I drew?
Not to say that I'm not a fan of your outfit, but I am a fan of that boat.
Right. This is the picture I sent Sal, right? This is the picture I sent Sal. It's way back here. These are all going to... Oh. It's way back here somewhere. I haven't it saved for a fucking reason. Right? I was like, okay... I'm changing the channel up and I'm looking to get see, that's what I sent him.
Yeah, see how round
the heads are right. The head's a better size there. Okay. I like the head size there.
It's the head is cartoonish, so it should be cartoonishly large.
Right. Spaceship.
I agree that looks quite good.
Right. This is the picture I sent him. It's coming up here somewhere. Look at all the good stuff he does, all the art. Oh no, I'm showing him as a kid, right? Don't show that. Keep scrolling. No, there's me. Oh, look.
No dick pics, right?
Are you with Alan Davis there?
Oh,
that's my brother. That's my dad, my brother, and me. That's actually at my my nanny's funeral.
Recently?
No, that's years ago, man. Years ago.
When did you lose your hair?
I lost it 3 years ago. This one is from 2009. This is why, Sal, if you're watching, this is why you can't put a tricolour on the ship. I know I'm Irish, but I'm Ulster Scot. Look at all that yeah. Right? Look at this one.
I thought that was a Canadian flag.
Very colorful.
That wasn't the maple leaf and bars?
That was me at a kiddies play park going insane. Have you ever been to a kiddies? Oh God, it's coming up now, right? Okay, we're scrolling down and giving everyone a chance. He came up with this very quickly afterwards, right? Very quickly. Very quickly. Right? Originally, he came up with this, okay? Just as a quick sketch. Are you looking for this sort of thing with a dome or whatever? I was like, no dome. Oh my goodness, I'm so embarrassed. Are you ready for Robbie's picture? Pigsty in space.
A house with engines on it.
Thank you.
Headed towards a tennis net.
Right? It's... Come on, people. I'm closing.
Everyone out of the house. We're about to hit the net.
That is just proof that Sal is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
Boy,
up there.
He made... Oh, excuse me.
Go on ahead, Gio.
I'm gonna say he made a lot out of your chicken scratch.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's fucking chicken scratch.
How he got that out of what you showed him is amazing.
I don't know. Am I right?
It's
How did he do
exactly
that?
what I wanted, though.
From tank to boat. That's quite a switch.
It's
Everything about that
exactly what I wanted, though. That's just proof that the man sees it. Like, we're good friends. He understands me, you know. I'm making myself look worse and him better. I hope that's
It's the same with my avatar. He designed mine, and I can't draw, so I had to just verbally describe what I was looking for, and he got it exact. This is exactly what I was looking for.
Right? And check this out as well. Sal, another shout out for Sal, right? Look at this. Let me see if I can find it. I always mess up your fucking stupid name, man, because you're very close to a bloody movie. What is it? Watchtower Watcher.
Yep.
Oh, why is it doing that? It's auto-locking. It's such an annoying... Because your name is so close to that movie, so close to the name of the song.
So entertained by anybody else struggling like I do with technology.
Watchtower Watchman.
Even if it's a fucking face with a Hitler.
Watches.
Right. There we go.
No,
Found
what
him.
you don't want to do is use the song "Born to Be Alive."
Right.
Because of hate speech.
Sammy, you have this running on yours for over nearly 2 months now. I don't know if you've got rid of it, right? Which you clearly haven't because it's still there. You haven't went into your studio. But Sal also did this.
MathPig. At the head.
I've just made you smaller, Peter. I'll look in a minute. But Sal also did
Got a
this.
gatekeeper feel to it.
Huh?
Got a bit of a gatekeeper feel to it.
Yeah, and if you look at the
Games Master,
symbol,
whatever.
it's 2 W's in that, as is the actual flames. There's W's everywhere.
Two W's together is the sound of wind. Woo woo.
Oh yeah, I see. All the things.
Woo woo.
Yeah, it's class.
A lot of work.
Geo does artwork for Skylar Fiction.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I do stuff like that too, yeah.
See, that looks too big to me.
See,
The head, I think, is a little off.
It's because you're small-headed.
Yeah.
It looks too big in that shot.
I think you should think big. If you're gonna think big. You can't say big without big. Literally one little bump away from big.
That's brilliant. If you're gonna think pig, think big.
The head is the head from your avatar. Right?
What's that now smoking?
That's good. You smoking
How
something?
did you just notice that?
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
it got 2 pipes. I was a little bit too fast. I forgot to erase the head that's on
Oh,
the
yes.
piece.
Yeah, I can see it. He's got the old one and just stuck one
I've
over
got
the
you
top.
right.
For cripe's sake.
I thought he'd given it a split.
Yeah, exactly. I thought he just because
Well,
I
it's a
can't.
cigar. It's a blunt.
These are corrective lenses, but they don't really help.
But just so
a little
the-
bit like a moose antler that he's got in his mouth.
Just so the original person doesn't whinge at me or shout or copyright or anything, Padme the cat is the original person who made the logo for me as a thank you. So they made the original logo, and then Sal has stepped in and taken over all my artwork and done a fantastic job of it as well. I do my own thumbnails, but yeah, I should start charging. Realised the price of them things. Did you see that episode with Nate Brody? I'm going to keep shouting him out until he appears in the chat, and then I can ask him for an interview. Nate Brody.
Everybody needs goals.
Can you
Who
hear my
was that?
dog? Right? My dog is passed out on the sofa. Right? Hold on. Listen to this.
My life goal is to see Daphne Rommel show up in the fucking chat.
Can you hear him snoring? No, he's too far away. He is snoring like a frickin' train.
Yeah, but your dog's like really old, right?
Well, he's 16 nearly.
Wow, that's an old dog. Yeah. Let him sleep,
That's a
man.
dog that doesn't know it's should be gone yet.
Oh, he had a big.
I didn't want to detract from Dave's misery the other day, but I actually had my dog have the snip on the same day as you did, Dave.
Wow.
I kid you not. The poor thing, he's still in a collar.
What's funny is that in the United States, the dog would be getting better drugs than you.
The dog got drugs. I didn't get drugs.
Oh yeah, he's still getting drugs.
He got told to go home, not sitting any balls, and no wanking for at least 2 weeks. That was Dale's prescription.
Pavlov got hit by a car when he was 9 or 10 months old, and that's part of why he was the world's most expensive $50 dog. But he go ahead.
No, you go.
He came home from surgery and he had this big cast on that was really just a bunch of like sport tape wrapped around his leg, but a shitload of it. And I'm giving him pain meds. This is the next day, and he goes to run out and runs through the house, leg akimbo, and then goes to run out the door and smacks his leg against the door on the way out. There's going on $1,100 worth of arthroscopic surgery, and there's a fucking pin and a bunch of wire holding that fucking leg together, and he's just smacking that fucker against the door. So I let that happen 2 more times before I stopped giving him his meds and started taking them for myself.
In reverse of that, I used to work with a girl.
Here we're keeping him sedated, so he's on sedation drugs rather than painkillers.
That's
I'm sure it helps the pain as well, but yeah.
Sedation.
Yeah,
pins.
Is the drug called Vicodin? Is it Vicodin that's the opiate or the very strong painkiller or something? Is it Vicodin? Yeah.
It's my
I still have footage of Arti on those drugs. I still have that.
I used to go out with
That's me when I see Daphne Rommel with the raccoon eyes.
Yeah, even
That's
the dog.
very beginning of the video.
Even the dog is wondering what the fuck's happening in here.
Yeah. I'd had Eddie for 2 months or something like that when I made the video.
All
and
right.
he had been abused, so it was I didn't notice it when I was filming it, and when I went back and saw that it was happening, I was like, "Oh, come here, baby."
No, there's a girl I used to go out with whose mother had a dog who got very upset on Halloween night, because of the fireworks and stuff. And I think it was Vicodin. She gave the dog one of her Vicodin tablets that she's prescribed, because it's like, oh, dogs get Vicodin. This dog's tiny. Like, you're talking maybe, I don't know what, no more than 10 kilo. And she gives him a human-sized dose. And she's a big woman, and she gives him this size of a dose. That dog was fucked up for about a week.
Oh, yeah.
Like, not right. Look, Peter, are you trying to get me demonetized? Do you just want to play the video?
Nice.
Oh. If anything, that made the numbers go up. They're coming over to see Nazi Peter.
So fucking funny. Granted, it does help if you know the people involved, but it is just fucking funny though. You don't have to know the people involved for it to be funny.
It is really funny. Really funny. If
I think as long as you know Peter.
YouTube doesn't like it, but we still think it's funny.
How long have we been going now? We've been going over, what? Have we been going more than 20 minutes?
Yes.
Right. Have we been going more than half an hour?
Yes.
Oh, hold on. They all stop watching after a certain time, don't they?
47 minutes.
What?
47 minutes.
Oh, so we haven't passed 47 minutes yet?
No, we have passed 47 minutes. It says 47 minutes, so we have passed 47 minutes. That's how YouTube works.
Oh, right. Where is it? I had... 1 second.
By the way, Artie, I don't know if you got it in the live chat on the show.
Yeah, I did.
Richard wants you to come on his channel. I want to watch that.
Richard?
Yes.
Which Richard?
Richard.
Madsen.
MathPig's Richard.
MathPig's on his channel every week.
He wants Artie to come onto his channel.
Oh, I thought you meant MathPig.
No, Artie. And I want to watch that.
Oh, Artie.
I want Richard to explain the picture behind him, and then watch Artie's face while he's explaining it.
Okay, well, we'll not talk about what it is. What I'll do is I'll do this. Peter, do I have your permission?
You always have. I've got nothing to hide.
Okay, is everybody ready for the next? Right, we'll do a minute. We'll do a minute.
Ready or not?
The fact that the rap name is Carl. That's why that's funny.
Hallucin.
See, when that happened, my woman's dad near fell off his seat whenever that
was
Hallucin. Yeah, copyright strikes are coming.
Yeah.
Right, we just
It
have to
wasn't
stop.
copyright. It was the hate speech.
No, it's okay. As long as we stop every now and again and go, have you seen them drums and commentary? Oh my God, here it comes.
All right, yeah. Hitler singing "Born, Born." That shit, I was pissing myself.
Right, we'll skip a wee bit because we're not going to do the whole thing.
Oh, perfect.
Fine.
Suitcase and an old guitar or something you occupy my mind.
Hang on just a second.
You see the born, born to be alive. You see the born,
And to have to show the end. You need to show the end of that video. Yeah.
Another word for redundant is one of my favorite things.
Oh, you poor creature. You're watching.
Who was that, pray tell?
This is benefits. If anybody wants to become a Patreon of Robbie, these are the benefits you get for being a Patreon for Robbie. You get the behind the scene things, right? We've got Chris. Okay, this is what I've got so far. Artie, you have to do.
Wait! I'm going to run away. I will pop back later if she's still going.
Okay.
Right.
Dave.
What?
Dave.
What?
Right. This is what I've got so far of.
Hang on a second. There was one thing about that video that it should save it from YouTube because there's me in my direction from Peter wasn't exactly helpful for what you got to see. He didn't tell me what he was doing. He just said, "I want you to film yourself saying this and doing this." But two of the shots in that, I'm wearing a gray T-shirt, and if you can pause it while I'm It's one of them when I'm flailing my hands on my head. The T-shirt says "Unfuck the world."
Hold on.
I read it. I read it.
I got it. How was that hate speech? Really? I don't care how much Hitler. Yeah, there you go. I don't care how much Hitler you put in a video. If you've got a guy wearing that shirt, how's that hate speech?
You got a nuclear bomb in the middle.
Well,
I don't know. I don't see it.
No, there's no hate speech. It's a freaking song. There's no hate speech in it at all, right?
It's a parody. It's a parody, right?
This is what we've got so far for.
So you can do that all day long.
Right.
You poor creature. You're watching MathPig.
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 I am watching MathPig.
You're watching MathPig.
I never do anything silly. I don't often watch YouTube, but when I do, I watch MathPig.
Artie, that's Richard.
MathPig. MathPig.
That is my wee girl actually shouting at the crocodile. And then I added the MathPig afterwards. She runs around the house shouting MathPigs. They've now got like a MathPig top and all. And she sees it everywhere and she starts to she shouts MathPig all the time. It's very cute.
that's very cute. I'll be right back. I gotta go lose a couple pounds.
Okay. Yeah, I'm totally using the baby vote. You know, subscribe to MathPig. More kitties. Fuck me, that's awful. Editing. Okay, and I'm back. Okay, Tug, I do like you. Can anyone hear? Can we all silent? Did everybody go quiet?
Yeah, I can still hear.
Gio, I think there was somebody I was talking to. Was it Amanda? Oh, Dave's left. I think it was Amanda or somebody in the Twitter group was looking to learn GIMP. Is that right, Peter? Wasn't it?
Is that so?
Yes, I think there was somebody looking to learn to use GIMP.
Well, there's a website called gimpchat.com. There's a lot of friendly people there. It's called gimpchat.com. And you can go there and sign up, and it doesn't cost anything. It's free, and they'll give you advice on the program. And I'm also there, and there's a lot of other people there that can help you. And I also take requests on my channel. If you go to my channel and you see a video and you just put it in the description, just write down a request, and if I can make a video of it, I'll do it and I'll post it. That's mainly what my channel is. It's about software and the program GIMP. And if I get a request for a video, I make it and post it. And I haven't been getting any requests, and no one's been asking me to make anything, so I haven't been posting anything. So that's what my channel is about.
Are you on Twitter, Gio?
Hey, yes, I have a Twitter account, but I don't Twitter. If you know what I mean.
Well, in the DM.
Ask Arti. Arti asked me to do an intro. Ask him how long he had to wait.
Well,
yeah, that's how it works sometimes.
He offered before I made my last video, and I made that. It'll be 2 years in May. So
have you got an intro yet?
I got my intro 3 months ago.
Yeah, about that time.
Up thereabouts.
And no one has seen it because you can't be bothered to make a video. Just saying.
See the level of love I get.
The world needs more Artemis videos.
Just to say, Artemis, and just to interrupt there, you're privileged to get an intro. I know you know Peter, and you're like brother from the other mother and all that crack, but yeah, sometimes when you get to know people, you forget about the privilege that it is when someone does something for you. I want to just on that. Thank you, Peter, for the intro. Really, thank you.
You're welcome. That's also the reason why I make stuff. I don't do Patreon. I do my thing and then give that away. That's why Arti had to wait so long, because he doesn't do shit. So why should I make an intro for a guy who doesn't make videos?
In
one thing we didn't do, Peter, was my fault first, and now yours as well, is that neither of us plug the Teespring store.
Actually, I did. I put that in the side chat during the show. Do you want Arti on your chest? Something like that? Or yes? Arti was dumb enough to give me the password to his Teespring store. So I can just create whatever I want and put it on there, and it'll be his fault.
I speak in bumper stickers, and I send him quotes to make T-shirts out of, and we're planning this week to get together so that we can design a bunch of T-shirts from the list of shit, the litany of fucking stupid crap that I've sent him that we should turn into T-shirts. I say here's one of the T-shirts that's coming that hasn't been engineered yet is, and I've been saying this since I was in my 20s, is stupid is permanent, ignorant is temporary. It's stupid to choose to be ignorant. And I want that on a fucking shirt. I want it on my car. I want it on a hat.
That's what I love about Teespring. It's free, man, and it's a creative outlet. You know, I've got a hashtag Blame MathPig series of T-shirts. We've got My Mum Held My Wood, which is
That's brilliant. I might have to have that mug.
Man, there's an entire backstory behind that. The short version is I bought a new fireplace around that's made of solid oak. I asked my mother to hold this giant thing because it won't stand up on its own. The girlfriend, yeah, exactly. I then sent the picture to the girlfriend and a story ensued. So my mum held my wood mugs. I'm actually wearing this right now, but my camera's fucked, so it won't change. But is it working? Is the channel working? I don't know. Is the channel working? Is it working? We don't know.
Are we on?
This is the back. I quite like the logo. It's on the back. So, yeah.
I really like your logo a lot.
Yeah. It suits me. It's exactly me. Which is why I like
I've got a picture that
for contrast, put me on full screen.
I've got a picture that I asked Peter to silhouette for me. Thank you. So that's part of the reason I need to do this with Peter is that he keeps putting my face on shit, and I don't want to see that.
He sent me an awful lot of your face on shit.
It's a lot of T-shirts with my face on shit.
Yeah, I seen you as Yoda.
That one I like. I'm a big fan of that one. He put some time into that one. I really like that.
Richard,
if you could make me into Baby Yoda, that would be even better.
Richard, there's a spare slot. If you
this one was actually commissioned.
Knowledge is lube. I like that.
It's brain lube.
I like that. Might steal that.
Wear that shirt to a Bible study meeting.
Right. Richard, we have a spare slot.
Probably get laid in Indiana.
Tug, no. Here, Tug. This one guy. Are you free to jump in this one guy? That could be interesting.
To say the least.
Everybody went quiet. Is that no? Is that a no?
I gotta be honest. I've understood about 15 words you've had to say all night.
Really?
I will admit, I struggled a lot the first 20 minutes.
Oh no, that's fine, man. As long as you're honest about it, not a prick. That's totally fine.
MathPig, this one I'm actually proud of. This was one that Arti didn't know about, and he liked this one too.
Yeah.
Arti, what?
Artificial.
Oh, I thought that said artificial for a second, and I got porn rooted.
It's because your head's in the gutter.
I blame Dave.
You're finding your way to a church, young man.
I blame Dave for all that. I was going to do something there, and now I've forgotten what I was going to do. Yes, Tug, do you want to come in? No?
I'll be right back.
Well, now Peter left.
His girl's got to poop. I'm sure of it.
Oh.
It's like midnight 30 there.
It's actually 1:30 Peter's time. It's 12:30 my time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I actually I watched a bunch of the Tri Channel.
Oh, the Irish Tri Channel is quite funny, but gets boring.
Well, and then I watched. Well, I had to watch. I was going in. It was my dialect coach, because I've seen enough of you to know what I was headed for, but now I was going to be responsible for actually responding to things that you were saying, rather than knowing that someone else is going to pick that up, because I didn't have a clue what the fuck you just said. so I watched some Dara O'Brien.
Yeah.
Some Ashley.
Don't know who they are.
The brunette that's incredibly funny and remarkably hot.
Did you watch The Mixed Marriage by Dara
Aisling
O'Brien?
B. Aisling B?
Not sure. Did you watch Mixed Marriage by Dara O'Brien?
No.
You should.
No, I can't find it. It doesn't play in my locale.
Oh, we'll get a VPN or something, man. But yeah, that actually is
I
my
need
life.
that.
That is quite funny, because that actually is my life. I'm descendant from the Scottish that come over to oppress the Irish, and my woman is from originally down south. She still is a Catholic. I'm on paper a Protestant, and our daughter is a mongrel. It's completely a mixed it's what that skit for Dara O'Brien is yeah. You should definitely watch it.
I love him.
Oh, well, I can totally do it here. Yeah, seeing as we're getting copyright struck already tonight.
We won't. That's the thing. That fucking video got taken down for hate speech, not the fucking copyright. And there is no fucking hate speech, and there's a pasty white American in it wearing an Unfuck the World shirt.
Yeah, that makes no sense at all.
Right. We shall. It's 5 minutes long, but it starts to get.
Hitler saluting with a yo-yo on his finger. Come on.
Right. This is my life, Arti.
It's ridiculous throwing the whole thing. And I was recently at a wedding between the girl from Cork who's Catholic and the guy from Edinburgh who's Protestant.
And my woman's from originally Kerry, not C-U-R-R-Y that the Indians make to eat. K-E-R-R-Y, the place in Ireland.
Sure.
That's a great pause, by the way.
Yes, panto crowd. It'll never work. I know exactly what you're thinking. You can't have a mixed marriage. The kids will be freaks. The DNA of Catholic and Protestant aren't supposed to be meshed like that. You'll get some sterile mule child of some description. Mule child, take the bag to the room. What's wrong with the child? Don't talk to the mule child. He is born of Catholic and Protestant. He is wrong. He is an abomination. It was a bizarre, because we've been hearing this thing in Ireland for years about the mixed marriage. Basically, if you've ever been to a wedding, you'll know there's bride there, all of the bride's people down one side of the church, every one of them Catholic. Groom there, all of his people down, all of them Protestant, right? Catholic on one side, Protestant on the other. At no stage during the service did one side look across it and go, what? You do that? How mad, how freaky, how wrong. You're going to hell. You're going to hell, for God's sake, right?
Yeah, commentary reasons, pausing. Yeah, it's funny enough, yeah.
It was the same words in the same order for both sides of the church. That's not a feckin' mixed marriage. There's nothing mixed about it at all, right? A mixed marriage is one side of the church going, Mazel Tov! And on the other side, men are firing guns in the air. That's a feckin' mixed marriage, right? If you're ever at a wedding and one side of the church has a big dragon that they're running up and down in the middle of the service, and on the other side, men with spears are hopping up and down, right? That's a fucking mixed marriage, ladies and gentlemen.
Killing it, man.
Yeah, he's right though, right?
There's
I'm
just
saying
one
there's no
thing
difference.
every
There's
time I
some-
see him. I still keep waiting for the minions to come on, because he looks exactly like the guy in Despicable Me.
His shoulders aren't as wide, but I'll give you that, yeah.
And I'm saying there's no difference. There's some differences. The Protestants, you love the hymns. You love the hymns. You can't get enough of the damn hymns. Verse after verse after verse of the feckin' hymns, right? Catholics, we do one verse, up you get, there you go, down you go, end of story, right? You, Jesus, on and on and on the thing
being a
goes.
Methodist.
And we were singing just as much. With the Catholic, we're singing just...
Dara's a Catholic.
Yeah, no, I meant for me. We only ever sang first verse, maybe the second, depending on how popular it was.
We were Presbyterian. It was all about going to hell and singing hymns. Yeah.
Yeah, no, ours was all about we didn't drink wine because wine was bad. All those parts in the Bible about Jesus and wine were pretty much skipped over.
Well, we're more.
And if you look at, are you familiar with the Welch's grape juice brand at all? I mean, is that the name sound familiar at all? It is the source of grape juice in this country, and it's because of the Methodists. Because we didn't take wine at communion, we took fucking grape juice, and Welsh was a Methodist, so he made fucking grape juice. Concord grapes. I think there's a Concord in somewhere over in that part of the planet, if I'm not mistaken.
We drank Schlur, Scholer. I think it's spelled Schlur.
Fuck, hey,
it's a non-alcoholic sort of sparkling wine.
It literally slurs my hearing.
Yeah.
I never attended church.
Well, my mum took us to the Presbyterian church because she thought it was the thing to do after you were christened and had kids and stuff. And when we were old enough to go to Sunday school, she stepped in to see what Sunday school was about, thought it was fucking insane, took us out and sent us to the Salvation Army instead.
You're talking about
just as much as the Protestants were.
We're talking about mixed marriages. I had an Italian Catholic friend of mine marry a Polish Jew.
Wow.
On a United States Air Force base. And on one side of the facility was the Italian Catholic Mafia, and on the other side was the Polish Jewish garment district of New York. Almost literally, that's what I'm looking at. Shiny Italian suits on this side, woolen suits on this side.
Well, you did see the picture earlier I posted when I was looking for the wonderful spaceship. The picture the picture of me out the front of the house. That was on the day what we have over here called the 13th of July, which is a celebratory thing when King Billy of Orange from over where Peter's from came over and beat King James, the Catholic, and the Protestants won. And they reenact that battle on the 13th of July, but it's basically a drinking session for depending on what age range you're in. You know, at a certain age, when you're really young, it's wonderful about drums and all the wonderfulness. Then it becomes about 15 years of drinking, and then you become the parent and bring your kids to it.
I just figured this out.
You can't
the difference between the United States and Europe is that Europe will celebrate a war or a battle against white people. In the United States, we only ever lament those.
Well, it's like a reenactment. You know when you do your reenactments?
Well, I'm just saying what the reenactments are of the Civil War, but those are somber occasions. That's not a celebration. Nobody's celebrating the fact that anybody won the Civil War.
Well, you see, that's the thing. It has now more
full of white people killing white people for their own fucking country's sake. I'm not saying it's a horrible thing. I'm just saying it's weird. It's an interesting dichotomy where America would never celebrate victory over a white. We never. We beat the Canadians and the French. We don't fucking talk about that shit ever.
Well, it's down to religion here. It's when the Protestants.
War of 1812 either, but
yeah, it's down to the Protestants beating the Catholics. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, I'm 50. I watched way too much of that shit that went on way too fucking long.
Oh, it's still going on here. But anyway, I've totally lost. Oh yes, that picture was from me before I met my woman and all the rest of it. Back in that stage where I was in the 15 years of, you go with your mates and by 10:30 in the morning you are absolutely and utterly blocked out of your mind. Like we brought a litre of patchine with us one year and it was gone before we actually made the field where you sit to drinking. You know, insane
That's
amount of
big difference between Europe and the United States. We don't let anybody drink until they're way past the curious stage where if they literally wait until they're 21 to start drinking, there's no way they're not turning into a blackout drunk.
We start drinking over here at about 11 or 12. That's why some of us...
And anybody that doesn't turn into a blackout drunk by the time they're 21 has started drinking by the time they're 16, 18 years old in this country, too.
Yeah, no, it's the same over here, man. I had, there was at least 3 years worth of drinking when I was young. Let me see... Yeah, 14 to 17. Yeah, 14 to 17, I was drinking an awful lot. And I mean 4 and 5 times a day, straight after school, meeting up with friends, having a bottle of Buckfast to myself, maybe 2, and then splitting a crate of beer. That's, in the time over here growing up, that was the culture. Like.
Yeah.
I don't even know when I started. My father was a liquor wholesaler, and I got to taste every new thing that came out. So
but you see,
I started drinking 4, 5, maybe earlier.
You see, that's the thing with the culture over there as well. You know, it's like the French, you have wine with your dinner so it doesn't become taboo.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you make it taboo and you say no and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Remember that part about me growing up Methodist?
Man, the Catholic girls over here are always the dirtiest. You know,
my mom drinks a lot of wine for a Methodist, and she told her doctor she drinks 2 glasses a week.
I like the way you said that. A lot of wine.
Well, as it stands now, I drink 3 nights a week, and I have a bottle of wine, maybe a bottle and a half of wine. 3 nights a week. According to the doctors over here, you're supposed to have 2.5 to 3.5. So I'm only a bottle of...
Fuck all doctors. You know what? I haven't survived three heart attacks because of good doctors.
No. What I'm saying is, you know, I have this... No, I'll be desperately honest, right? This is the whole thing. People have this thing about me on the internet when I do these streams. And they're like, oh, Robbie's the Irish, he's the drunk and all the rest of it. I do these streams for fun. You know, these are my nights off that I do these streams. These are my fun nights that I do these streams. I want to sit down and I want to enjoy myself. Right. I am from maybe a dumpster fire.
This is as close as I get to hanging out with my friends in public.
Yep.
So, shut up.
Yeah, that's exactly it, man. Some of these people that I have in these hangouts and, you know, some of the people that I have in Discord and behind the scenes, I consider nearly family, like. Richard, who's in the chat, my mother wants to meet Richard. This Thursday or next Thursday, my mother's coming up before the stream that I have with Richard so they can sit down and get to meet each other. I wouldn't do that with just some rando on the internet.
Sure.
You know, as you say, man, these people are friends and I come on to have fun. And yeah, I want to have a bottle of wine and sit down and drink. That's fine. I fucking judge me, fucking don't judge me. I've got past the point, Karen. But if you knew my history, as I say, between the ages of 11, between the ages of that, you know, when I was drinking, that unbelievable amount of alcohol. I literally took 4 years off, 5 years off. Stopped drinking, stopped smoking, stopped absolutely everything. If I hadn't, then people that I hung about with, I know 2 of them, as you say, Artimus, have become raging alcoholics, and one of them, the other one is a complete pioneer because he was a raging alcoholic.
Yeah, no, I the first time I ever sought psychiatry, my my psychiatrist said, "Wow, you're really lucky that you're not addicted to anything but nicotine." I was like, "Yeah, it's weird you say that." There was when I was living in California, I was drinking 4.5 cases of beer a week, which is it's like 24 beers a case. Yeah. So. And I was drinking enough coffee and working hard enough that I didn't start gaining weight from drinking that heavy until after I moved back to Indiana, and I continued to try to drink at that pace and realized that I didn't need to drink that fucking much anymore. And then my 30s happened, and I don't fucking remember my 30s. Not even gonna lie to you, most of my 30s is that was the point at which.
Unfortunately, I remember everything.
Yeah, see, Art, one of the things I do remember is I took a friend of mine had access to some really good acid, and my dog Rudy that we talked about earlier, she and I took off with brain samples of tripping, and we're just walking through town. This is a pretty reasonably good sized city. You know, it's annoyingly small, but it also has most of the amenities that any place should. So I'm walking through town, and I come across a parade, and I'm sufficiently fucked up that when these little black girls come up to me and ask if they can walk my dog, I say yes. Only because I realize that they have just jumped off of a parade float that I'm about to jump onto. So it was the Black Expo parade, and I was on the parade float for some hair salon that sold extensions, throwing fucking candy to nothing but black people on the fucking street. None of it registering. I'm not fucking racist. I just didn't, didn't fucking register. And we got towards the very end of the parade route. I'd only been on the float for like a block and a half or two. It was right near the very end. And I started hearing some parents talking about who's that guy. And I jumped off, got my dog, and continued to walk. And that's when I went to the local factory bakery and started buying pastries. It's a great fucking day. One of the greatest fucking days ever.
You see, Matt, when you start that young and you're drinking that young, there's a lot of messed up stuff. And like I remember, like my father, I mentioned before, I have access to patching, you know, and patching's very, very, it's moonshine. I have access to moonshine, you know. And it got to the point where I'll call wintry morning. Sure, we'll just have a wee shot of moonshine to warm your bones, so to speak, while you're waiting on the bus to go to school.
Sure, waiting for the coffee to brew.
Exactly. Only, you know, maybe not
deep.
Yeah, I do get judged on here. I know people that they mention that, and a few people have said I've recently set up a debate, not the one with Peter, an actual serious debate. The one that Peter's going to help moderate is aiming to be a dumpster fire, and yeah, someone said to me,
actually, just a moderator like Peter, how could it be?
Yeah. Well, the point I'm trying to make is someone said to me, "Sure, have a couple of glasses of wine, you'll be all right." I don't. I'm here to have fun.
Artie, you're gonna have to watch that debate. You're
not lying.
Yeah.
I'm here to have fun. That's the whole point. So, you know, the 3 nights that I'm on here, yes, I'm drinking. Do you think I'm drinking the other 4 nights? I'm not drinking the other 4 nights, you know. Half of them time I'm with the daughter. Did you see my Twitter of the day, Artimus?
Man, it sounds like you talking to my fucking ex.
No.
I saw something about someone who was dragging looked like a kid across the floor.
That was me.
That was you, right?
That was me. That was my Sunday today. I spent my Sunday today like, can I do this without wrecking everything?
Just throwing her around.
Yeah, you've seen that. But I have so much fun. I love being a dad. I don't know. I'm rambling now.
He desperately wants her to become a trapeze artist or some kind of a circus person.
It's just really funny because there's no context to it, you know? It's just like all of a sudden you see this kid getting dragged across the floor. It's like,
the video is actually 1.5 minutes long, but I edited it down to just that 24 seconds for the pure we had no idea. Plus, we were doing this today, right? Look at this. That girl can fly.
He wants to see her doing aerials.
How high, Daddy? How high?
That's exactly it. It's fly, Daddy, fly. That's
yeah, exactly.
I'm totally gonna have to fucking edit that shit out. My woman's gonna kill me.
World according to Garp fucking thing. It's gonna be sad.
No, that's what I spend the rest of my time doing. You know, and during the summer, I have my father has a bee business. He has 30 beehives, man, with during the summer up to 60 to 70,000 bees in each hive. You know, I help him with that during the summer. I also have an old car that I'm doing up for the daughter. I bought a 1984 Ford Capri for the daughter, so we'd have something to do together. She's gonna get fucking killed in that car. I'm driving them. No, seriously, man. I'm driving them cars 10 years. I still can't keep the thing in a straight line. They are death traps.
Yeah, but something to do.
It's something to do, you know.
Together, you know.
I don't know. I'm rambling now, but
The great thing about the United States is that most of the cars that were produced in this country that were death traps aren't on the roads anymore because they were death traps. and everybody drove them until somebody fucking died in it.
I find it funny.
Like everybody drove a fucking Pinto until the goddamn thing was stopped with the turn signal on, got rear-ended and burst into flames.
I find it very funny, right? Well, not funny, but not. It's stupid. I see in American movies, and recently, I think it was this one guy had an accident, because their brake line failed. We call them brake pipes over here, but because your brake line failed, and that is one of the smallest and easiest things to get failed on over here. We have what we call an MOT test, and they have to go for this every single year. After their first, they get their first 4 years, they don't have to go because they're brand new. But every year after
in the United States, we stopped doing car inspections it was the Reagan administration. It was like in 1982 or 83. And so long as it's got headlights that work, turn signals that work, tail lights that work,
brake lights,
and brakes,
That's
you
it.
can not only drive it, but insure it.
Yeah, you just have to be able to demonstrate all those things when the cop stops you. Like, if all your lights work, then you're good. That's all they get you on, really.
Yeah.
Over
You
here,
can
everything.
be driving it without a windshield in most states. You can be driving it without a hood or fenders in most states.
No, if you have a crack in your windscreen or a stone chip in your windscreen, you fail MOT.
No.
Over here,
California does some of that, but they call it a fix-a-ticket, where it's like, well, when I was living there, it was like $40 if you didn't fix it, but if you produced a receipt for the repair, you didn't have to pay the ticket.
I went up this year. Our MOT over here is £30 sterling, and then a retest. So if you fail in something, you have 10 days to come back again, and that's what's known as a retest, and they are £18. Now, what some garages do is they charge 40 quid for an MOT check, which is stupid. Because why would you pay £40 for an MOT check when a retest is 18 quid? So I sent the car up with the intention of failing the first time to get a list of all the stuff that they found under their standard. Found the list, took over 10 days to fix the car because it was a fucking big list. So I then went up again and I had to book a full test, which was another 30 quid. I went up and I failed a second time, because the guy found that the bottom inch of my back right hand spring had broken off. That was it. Now the spring was still exactly the right, because the spring was broken. It's classed as a broken spring, even though it's just the last inch. The spring still works, still does exactly what it's supposed to. I failed again. So I then had to take the car away, and I rushed to get it fixed to get the retest under the 10 days. And in changing the spring, I broke a clip on the ABS sensor. Which means when I drive after about 5 minutes or so, it comes up in the dash, ABS is broke. Not that it is, but it comes up in the dash. And over here, you're not allowed any lights on the dash at all. Or you fail instantly.
See, the offset there is that the United States requires certain bumpers and elevations and shit so that our cars are safe enough that even though they're in shit condition, they won't kill the passengers and driver. But your country goes the other, or your countries, Europe goes another way, which is, no. We're going to start with, don't drive a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You can design a piece of shit, but you can't drive it after it's fucked up.
Oh, man, I was sitting outside in a queue of 3 people waiting to drive. Now, the Northern Ireland does it differently than the UK because we have the troubles over here. And
You can drive a Robin, but it have to have brakes.
I was lying underneath the car outside the MOT centre, wiggling the ABS centre to put the fucking light off, and drove into the MOT centre, past my MOT, and then as I drove out and round the corner, the fucking light came back on again. I was like, don't care, I've passed. And that was 3 months ago, and I haven't...
Straight in.
But the brake
my
lines...
last trade-in needed a $4,000 transmission. And I took it to the dealership, but I warmed up the transmission before I took it there because when they take it for a test drive, I didn't want him to be able to feel it slip.
Yeah.
So I took the car there, I dropped it off, and I went and did some shopping, and he was going to test drive the car, and I had some other shit that I had to do. and I get back there like 2.5 hours later, and he still hasn't test driven the car. I was like, fuck.
The funny thing is, another one.
He takes off in it, and I end up getting $4,000 in the trade for that car.
When I went in the first time, and one of the things that was on the list, you are not allowed tinted windows on the front side window, like on the door windows of the car, over a certain percentage because it blocks out light and you can't see.
Yeah, America too.
Right, and what people do over here is they buy film, tint and film, and they put tint and film on. Rory, I'm going to mute you for a second because there's a fan or something. And you're not allowed a certain amount of tint in the front windows. The back windows, grand. The back doors, grand. But the very front, you're not allowed to. I bought this car and I travelled from Northern Ireland to the other side of England to buy this car because there was extras done on it when it was bought. Ford is the make of my car, and Ford themselves actually put tinted glass in the car, which is a workaround. You know, it's set to the exact level, all the rest of it. And the fucker failed me on it and said, you need to rip the film off them windows. I was like, do you want to fucking try and do it? Because it's fucking glass. And he argued with me in the middle of the MOT centre, put it on the list and all the rest of it, and it's on the records. I failed because of tinted windows. When I went back for the second time, I just put the two front windows down and kept talking to the instructor, and he never fucking cared. He never asked me to put them up. Just completely distracted him. I swear to God, Peter, I put the two front windows down so nobody could see them and just talk to him. I was like, yeah, this is my second time back. Fucking failed before and missed this, that, and the other, and all the rest of it. He never put the windows up and checked. I was like, yep.
I'd have been equally tempted to just order a fucking window, leave the factory stickers on it, and just hand it to him and say, you tell me the difference. And don't you break this motherfucker because it's 360 pounds.
The funny thing about it, Artimus, is I actually have the record from Ford in England in the glove box that lists them putting glass in. And I went to take it out, and he said to me, are you fucking arguing with me? And the fact that he failed me in 5 or 6 other things that were actually broke, there was no point in me arguing with him. And yeah, I was just planning on putting the windows down next time, which did work.
Obviously there's a point at which you have to resign yourself to the fact that you just can't win because this cocksucker's got the thing that you need.
Yeah,
but
well,
I hate those motherfuckers.
I needed 2 hubs in the front of the car, and as I say, the first time I went in to fail, and I knew that the 2 front hubs were fucked. I had 2 brand new hubs sitting on the front seat in the passenger seat, and when I got out of the car for him to do the test, I was like, when you're doing the test, if the 2 front hubs fail, they're sitting in the front seat, you can see them there, they're going in the more. And went and sat down.
Is that better, MathPig?
Yes, we can hear you now. Rory, thank you for coming on.
Yes.
Peter, have you met Rory before? Artimus, I know, hasn't, and I think Gio has.
Yeah, I've met him. I've met him before.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, just going back onto the darkened window thing. When I moved back from America to England in 1997, I brought over a GMT Suburban, and it had those darkened windows from the B-pillar back. I picked it up at Southampton Docks, stopped at a garage to fill it up with petrol, and this guy comes out and fills it up. We had a hand, people who would do that in those days. And he goes, "Oh, I like your hearse." Because in England at that time, nobody had darkened windows. And he thought it was a hearse.
It's got to be the biggest fucking vehicle in the country that doesn't have boxes in it.
Well, possibly. And the other car, I know MathPig's interested in cars. The other car I brought over was a 1976 Cadillac Eldorado convertible.
Fuck yeah, a friend of mine's got that. What color's the leather?
It was white. It was one of the bicentennial editions. But Artimus, your previous comments about being in a parade, I used to drive that in a parade, and in a place called Orland in Pennsylvania, which is just outside Philadelphia, and there was this women's neighborhood association, and they made a big thing of themselves. So anyway, I got together with a few guys, and we called it the car, we called it Mona, and we put Mona on the side. And as we were driving down in the parade, everyone said, "What's Mona? What's Mona?" And we said, "It's the Men's Orland Neighbourhood Association." And they didn't like that very much.
No, it's kind of really funny that you say that, because the reason that I know to ask the question that is because I know I got a friend of mine that sells Cadillacs who owns that car in white with the crystal blue or amethyst. It's whatever the blue leather was called. And he is the reason I know him is because I was friends with his husband fucking Jesus, almost 30 years ago. And that's how I met him. And he actually bought that car because the leather matched the color of his eyes, and I'll be goddamned if it doesn't.
Well, I sold mine a few years ago in an auction, and it went to Finland, in inverted commas. And I learned later that anything that anyone buys from the UK that goes to Finland ends up in Russia.
That was a pretty car.
Yeah, I have to be hitting the road.
Thanks, Gio.
Well, it had an 8.2 litre V8.
Yeah.
And
it turned about 4 RPMs at 60 miles an hour.
That's about it. And I replaced it with a thing called that's a 60s one, but I replaced it with a thing called a Volkswagen Up, which is a three-cylinder car with under a 1 litre engine. And I thought, oh my gosh, this whole engine is smaller than 1 cylinder of my Cadillac.
Yeah, a friend of mine had 78, and we two things happened. We blew 2 spark plugs, and the transmission would no longer go into drive. We ended up driving it backwards for about 30 miles on 6 cylinders, and I can't remember how much better the gas mileage was, but it was remarkably better. It went from like 12 miles a gallon on the freeway to like 17 miles a gallon on the freeway because 2 of the plugs weren't firing.
Okay, I'm going to pull up a picture.
Arti, do you have the side chat pulled up?
Just before you do that, I'm going to put up a picture of what I drive every day. And hello?
Look who's in the side chat.
Nacha!
Fuck Nacha. Hey, Nacha. Fuck you.
Nacha! No, Nacha's never turned up from my streams because the timing never works out. The timer never works out for me and Nacha.
Nacha an invite so he can get his ass in here.
Fuck Nacha.
The link's in the chat, Nacha.
Just saw your comment. Right on.
Artie, just as if you find that actual comment funny, I was in a stream. Do you know Jay Pasick? Artie, do you know of Jay Pasick?
No.
Jay Pasick is a guy that has... Do you know of Jesus is Lord? Peter does.
Yeah.
Right? So we're on a hangout. We're in a hangout.
No, but I'm also struggling with your accent's killing me right now.
Okay, I
think it's killing me.
Okay, Artie.
You know Jesus Lord?
Well, geopathic doesn't sound like a word. Is that what you were saying?
Okay, I will speak more clearly, and I will try and speak more England. Artie, do you know of a person on the YouTube called Jesus is Lord, or Jill for short? That people
I know Jesus is Lord, yes.
Right. I am on a hangout with Jay Pasick. Jay Pasick is having a hangout, and in the live chat is Jesus is Lord. I told everyone in the live chat that I had to leave because I was going for a shower. Jesus is Lord felt it necessary to point out that everybody in the chat was a male and I was talking about being naked, so I decided to say, I will helicopter for just you. Then I got into the shower. Now, as a side note, can you understand me?
Yeah, Jill has showed up in some of the work that Peter and I have done.
Okay, back to the cars. Back to the cars. We'll not go down that route before I do this because this will take all of 2 seconds. Okay, Artie, testing. Can you understand accent?
Gotcha. I'm down.
Okay. This is how much I like to have these conversations in real life and poke at people. The first day I bought this car, I decided to drive past the local tabernacle with Iron Maiden Number of the Beast coming out the window.
I parked outside at the end of my
Do you like the license plate?
Friend of mine's.
Arti.
Friend of mine's wedding, and I just installed my first aftermarket car stereo, and I played 9 Inch Nails. Fuck, what song was that?
Well, do you see the license? Everybody knows my name's Robin.
Yeah, that's funny.
I know. Yeah, you should have seen.
I can't do that till my parents are dead anyway, because one of their friends might find out that their son's an atheist. They're 77 years old. I am 50 fucking years old. My parents are 77, and they give a fuck about what their friends might learn about their son on Facebook.
My granny didn't know there was incest in the Bible up until about a few months ago, and she's over 80 because the story of Lot stops when she turns into a pillar of salt.
Yeah, no, there's no fucking way I could talk to my dad about the Bible. Never in his life I talk to him about the Bible. He doesn't know it well enough. Well, he doesn't know it well enough to give a fuck, and he doesn't know it well enough to know that there's some really fucked up shit in it because he didn't give a fuck. But he's a goddamn Christian, and I should act better than to be that open about my atheism on Facebook, which he was never on.
I go out of my way to make a fucking scene. If you actually look up on what we have over here called Channel 4, there is a show quite recently, within this last few months, where they got random people who like to have a smoke and like to smoke weed, and they flew them to Amsterdam with someone in their family or a friend or someone close to them who is against it. I'm looking at your eyes and I'm trying to slow down. Are you getting me and understanding me, Artie?
Yeah.
MathPig.
I got. Sorry, Rory. Yes, I'm going to overtalk you because it's my channel. I got a second.
Carry on.
I will. I got a second phone interview for that. I was trying to get my granny to come with me because a few months before that, randomly, her and my mother turned up at the house when I had recently received possibly an ounce of a plant. And the first thing my mother did was go straight to the kitchen and check if the fridge had food. So I had to go out and was talking to my mother, and I heard my granny in the living room, and I walked in, and my granny's possibly holding a bud that weighs maybe 4 grams, 5 grams, and she's holding it up in the air going, "What's this?" And my mother goes down the route of going, "It's tobacco. He's growing tobacco." And it's like, "Ma, don't lie to the woman." And about 20 minutes later, she couldn't get up out of the seat, and I looked at her and went, "I've got something for that." The evil look I got. But she actually considered it. She went
she just held on to that butt a little bit longer.
I have to give my granny credit for a woman of 86, and the more she's, as you say, Artie, sometimes you come across people with intelligence who have a problem changing. My granny in her old age, when she turned 80, actually said at her 80th birthday party, "I've spent 80 years trying to be nice to people. I'm going to say what I feel from now on." And that honesty has given her the ability to be open to more. And she actually did consider it and went to the doctors and got checked. And the doctor was like, "No, your heart, no, you ain't getting on a plane, woman. You're fucking 84. Don't get in a fucking..." So she couldn't go. But yeah, no, I generally did get a second phone interview for that, like, because that would have been class. My granny is a Bible Belt sort of woman. If we call them Bible bashers over here because they hit you over the head with the Bible.
Yeah, we call them Bible thumpers.
Yeah. Okay, Rory.
MathPig, you showed a black Ford that you own, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get fucking Peter started on goddamn cars, because
that's my black Ford.
It's one of the things
do you want to know why I keep showing this picture?
Why?
Because of the Traeger wheels.
No. Look at that one.
Oh, wow.
Look closely, Artie.
Mark 1, is that the thing?
Yeah, it's a
Look in the back of the car.
it's a Mustang Mark 1. Was it like a 74 or something? I can't remember.
Look
What
at
year it
the
was.
back of the car.
I can't see the back of the car. This is like you wanting to see Pavla or Eddie's butt. I'm
In
not,
the
All we're
back,
seeing
in
is
the
a side shot.
through the side windows in the back.
looks like it's full of stickers.
Close.
It's a southern sticker.
Ah, Confederate flag. There we go.
No, right? Just this is right. That's hold on. Exit solo layout. Peter, that is a really nice. Do you own that car? Yes.
Yes.
Right. This is the one that I bought for the daughter.
By the way, I need to explain that is not a Ford Mustang.
Right. Well, this is the one that I bought for the daughter, which is very similar in shape. This was actually the European version of the American Ford Mustang. Oh, it's a tiny picture. But can you see it?
A Capri.
Yeah, it's the Ford Capri.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tiny picture. But they're not far off. The shape is fantastic. I've actually had the daughter underneath the bonnet with the engine in it and closed the bonnet. Like it's
The Capri is dramatically smaller, though, isn't it?
It's that particular one that I have is a 2.0 Pinto engine.
No, I mean like
Smaller
the roads are smaller. Yes, the shape. It's the shape. Yeah, it's the
It's
shape.
smaller, but the weird thing is, at this moment, I think in Europe, the Capri's worth more than the Mustang.
The Capri, if fully done up, is worth 14 to 20,000 sterling, pounds.
Oh yeah, that's.
And
I've seen them here on offer for 40,000 euros and up.
Anything in this country that's that old, depending on, I mean,
Peter,
that depends on where you're trying to sell it. But generally speaking, if you're trying to sell an old car in California that doesn't have rust and pour a fuck ton of Bondo on it, you can get a lot of fucking money for a classic car.
Guess how
friend
much
of mine,
I paid
friend of
for
mine
it?
had a GTO convertible from 72-ish, I think. Orange with the racing stripes on the hood and tail, and he's in Indiana that year. He got offered $16,000. He drove it out to California and got $42,000 for it.
Well, for me to bring that car,
1990.
that car,
And
right?
the one that you see now, it has a horse. It says Mustang on the side. It's not a Mustang.
Is it a kit car?
No, it's an original Ford.
All right.
It's called the Ford T5.
The headlights are wrong. Is that what's different?
No, the only thing, and that's
the headlights.
That's the part you can't see. So the only thing that's different is the indicators that are in the grille. On the Mustang, they're orange. They're white, and in this one, they're orange. And also, I put on the word Mustang on the side. It doesn't have that when it comes from the factory. Actually, it is forbidden for that car to have the word Mustang anywhere on it.
It's exactly what you should come to expect from the Dutch.
Well,
No,
that
actually,
particular car, Peter.
expect from the Germans, because this is a German car, and in German, Ford wasn't allowed to use the name Mustang.
But the Dutchy was the one that put the sticker on it.
German, you know, the guy with that guy.
Dutchy.
Well,
Put the
that's the-
sticker on the car.
That particular car, right? You may have paid. I don't know what you paid for that, Peter. I'm not going to guess or whatever. It may have been done up. That car, as we've discussed, the Capri can be anything worth 14 to 20 to 40 to 30,000 sterling, right? To get it to that spec, I've priced it from what I have is maybe between £4,000 and £7,000. If I spend that on that car will be worth 20, right? Guess how much I paid for that? The guy did not know what he had. It was sitting in a fucking field. I paid £750.
When I was living in California, I had a customer. I worked for a enterprise rent a car. Doesn't matter. He's picking up this old guy, and he drove him to rent a car, and we talked, and we had a pleasant talk. And he remembered me when he returned his rental car, and I drove him. He asked that I drive him back to his house. And on the way there, he's talking to me about this VW Bug split window that he has that he will sell to me for $650 American. It was a running, everything original 56 or 54 VW split window VW Bug that he was going to sell to me for $650 because he liked me.
Wow, that's an early one.
I could not have mustered $650, and that car, as it sat, was worth it easily 10 times what he was willing to sell it to me for.
One of these cars,
400 or 500 times what he was willing to sell it to me for.
One of these cars was, when they're brand new back in the 90s, were something like 20 or 30,000, right? And someone had bought one, drove it for a little while, and put it in a fucking shed and forgot about it. And it went for auction, and no, not this one. This is the second one. It went for 100,000.
I think a car very similar to that was sold as a Sterling in the United States.
Yes,
is that right?
This is my next buy. This is my next buy. One of these here.
Sterling Mercure.
It's called a Ford Sierra, right? Or else,
yeah,
Cosworth.
Yeah, but that's the two-wheel drive.
Yeah. See, the United States didn't have any Cosworths. We had SHO versions.
Pronounce that?
Pardon?
Have you figured out how to pronounce what the car is called?
It's a Ford Sierra Sapphire Cosworth.
It's not pronounced like that.
Well, that's how everybody in this country pronounces it.
It's called a Cossie.
A Cossie? No. That's a Cossie.
No, not a Cossie. It's called a Cossie.
That's the model. One of these was bought for 30,000 and put in a shed, and recently sold for 100,000 in auction. Like
I recently watched a video from a guy from Germany who does nothing but restore and sell Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, the first model. He found out about some guys in the US who had bought a 300 SL for $450. He then bought it off of them for $300,000 and sold it on for little over $1 million.
I used to have one of these.
CBX.
Was that one of the?
Looks like the American version of the CBX.
Was that one of the old Gullwing Mercedes?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, they're worth that kind of money.
Have you seen Rory? This, if I could own any Mercedes, this would be the Mercedes I would own. MEC-ED-ES Mercedes. Is it the E-Class one? Is it the 190? The E190?
E190 was before the...
Yeah. Look at that. Now the spoiler's too big.
That's the Evo.
The tail on that.
Yeah, the tail's far too big. But
no, that's standard. That's the Evo 2.
Is that a 4 series?
That is a really, really pricey car.
Is that a 400?
Would you believe, Peter, there is actually one of them that drives around the town that I work in that a guy has owned for maybe 30. It's an old fella. It is falling apart. It is so many people have offered him money for it, and he will not sell it. And it no way looks like this. It looks more like this fucking thing down here, or this thing up here. It's about to fall apart, but it has the potential to be the full 190E. Like. I love that Mercedes. Look at the shape of that car.
Yeah, but that's not a 190E. That's the Evo 2.
Yeah, that's the Evo.
That's the second model that AMG souped up a little. That has a Cosworth engine, by the way.
Yeah, it's a Cosworth engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has the potential to be that. No, that's the fucking thing again. His is awful looking. It's one of that. It's this color. It looks like that. It's cat looking, but it has the potential, and he won't sell it. But yeah, old cars are the nicest.
Wait a minute. This one that I showed earlier. Let me see if this one.
We've lost Arti. We've lost everybody.
So I had to drive for a wedding for the parents of a friend of mine, and a couple of days before the wedding, my brakes gave up on me, so I didn't have a car. And a friend of mine I knew had this one, and so I went over to him and I said, "Can I borrow your Cadillac, because I need to do a wedding, and my car, I don't think that I'm going to get the brakes fixed in time." So he told me I could use it, and then got into a huge fight with his wife, who said, "And you're always giving people cars, and one day they're going to bring one back, and there's going to be dents and scratches." And when I got back at the end of the day to bring him back the car, he and his wife were still fighting.
When I got back, you were still talking.
And he literally said to me, "You can have it. Here are the documents. Take it. You can have it." And I didn't want to do that because we were good friends.
I'm gonna make an effort because I go to Holland quite a lot. No, Peter's still talking. Peter's still talking. Peter never shut. Does Peter ever shut up, Arti?
Wait a minute. Literally 3.
I long for that button.
Literally 3 days later, the tax people came and took the car off him because he was back on taxes, and so they impounded it. I wished I would have said yes and had taken it home.
Yeah, my father, my stepdad.
It got scrapped.
He still talks. He never shuts up. My father.
I know. MathPig. Could I talk about your number plate for a moment?
Yes.
666.
No, not 666. That's far too many sixes.
Okay. Did you buy that, or did it come with your car?
Oh no. I've wanted since I was a little boy to have a Ford RS in black with a personalized license plate. Now I couldn't run for the mileage I do. I couldn't run a petrol RS. And I got myself a diesel ST, which is just one step down, as you know, over here, Rory. And then, I was like, fuck it, that's the closest I'm going to get. So I splashed out. I paid £380 for that.
All right, so for the car. So you didn't buy the number plate came with the car.
No, I paid. I bought the car and I flew from England. I flew into Birmingham. I then got 2 trains to Leicester. I then drove from Leicester to Holyhead, got a boat from Holyhead into Dublin, and then drove from Dublin back up to where I live. I left at 4 in the morning and I got home at 10 o'clock that night.
Ah, so you made good time then.
Oh yeah, by 15 minutes, man. Literally, I am not joking you, right? I didn't even have time. No, this is actually a very funny story. Very quickly. Didn't have time. I didn't have time to stop.
Your response.
Okay. No,
I did not have time to stop to go to the toilet, and while I was on the queue to get onto the boat, I actually jumped out, opened the front passenger door and the back passenger door, and stood between them and took a fucking piss while I was waiting in the queue with the car to get onto the boat. I was that short on fucking time. I just made it. Go on ahead, Rory.
Thank you. Only 2 points I was going to make. Once I pulled out of the local railway station, and I was following this car, which had a registration number something KKK.
Oh, wonderful!
And I thought, oh my gosh, that is a real license plate issued by the British government. I couldn't believe it.
Those don't get issued in the United States.
I know. I was thinking, do people driving that car know what it means? Probably not. But the second thing, and I'll try and be as quickly as possible, was my father's name was Harvey Herbert, and he had a number plate HH10, which is very rare. It goes back to sort of.
I was going to say, that's a black and white legal plate over here, isn't it?
Yeah, and people sell them in the UK. I know in the USA you don't. You can kind of order it from your state. But anyway, after he died, he left that number plate to his son. Sorry, to my son, whose name is Henry Herbert, and my son just sold that number plate last year for £18,000.
Wow.
That's what they're worth. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that particular plate, man, I can actually show you screenshots from a saved folder file I have on my phone, and there must be about, I would easily say 300 license plate versions that I looked around. I was looking at one getting my name and the daughter's name and this, that, and the other, and one more close to the car, which would, boost the price of the car up and stuff like that. And I came, me being me and liking the conversation, I looked up 666, and the only one with my initials, 666, and then a letter in front of it. The way it works over here, Artie and Peter, I don't know if you know, we standard 7 digits, 7 letters, combination of both. If you go down to 6, the price goes up. If you go down to 5 or 4, and the minimum you can have is 3 or 2. 2 is it, or yes? And yeah, I kept it 7 and used a popular pattern to keep the price down. And the only version left of the 666 with my initials was the letter at the front, which I've masked out and I'm going to ruin, was Y. So it's Y666 and then my initials. And that was the only letter of the entire alphabet left with that. So there's obviously a demand for it. And I figured if I pay 380 quid now, and it's £80 to put it on your car, so the plate's actually only £300. As Rory said, they can go up in price.
Sure, yeah.
A friend of mine recently seen one on the back of a car, which was T666 and then my initials. So this guy obviously has the same initials as me, but it was on a car worth close to £90,000.
MathPig.
Sorry, I'm going to keep talking. I'm just going to keep talking and keep talking.
MathPig, here's another one, MathPig. I very nearly bought the registration plate. It was XX11 SAS, which is 22 SAS. And I thought, no, I can't do that. And then I suddenly found out somebody had actually bought it and put it in their car. And people in an army barracks, and people were like, no, who the hell are you? Bugger off, and sprayed it.
I think it was 2018 or 2019. The way the number plates over here work is in England, they have a number system and it goes up every year. And I do believe it was last year or the year before that the ability to get the license plate 69 THC was available, and the girlfriend's brother was going to buy it, but he already has 2 cars with personalised plates on it. He likes to buy plates. But the fact that it was only out last year means he has to buy a car from last year to put it on. So he has to have another 3rd car, and it didn't work out and he missed it and some other fucker got in. But it was IL69 THC, which basically broke down as I love 69 THC.
Yeah. In Indiana, there's because of some things that have happened, there's an Interstate 69, federal Interstate 69 that runs the length of the state. And that is always abbreviated as I-69. You cannot buy a license plate that says I-69, but you can read it in the newspaper every fucking day.
I've mentioned this over.
they will have signs that says I-69 all over.
Well,
the
it says interstate, but yeah.
There's a fella I went to school with, and I've said this story before, but there's a fella I went to school with, and his parents came from Money. They were part of that little group of Money, One family ran a fairground, another had a plumbing business, that sort of wee group. And he had a nickname of Bubbles. Don't know where it came from, can't remember, but his nickname was Bubbles.
It's so funny. I gave a kid a nickname Bubbles for no reason. He still goes by it 20 years later.
Yes. Well, this guy, when he got out and he got his big flash Audi Q7, whatever the crack was, he bought a license plate, but you can't get Bubbles over here. So he got a license plate that was close to it and put the screws to screw it into the car in certain places so it looked different, if you understand. Made it slightly italic and all the rest of it, and it came out as Bubble. Not S, but just Bubble. Sure. And he'd been pulled over about 5 or 6 times by the police over here going, that fucking plate is illegal, man. You can't have that plate like that. And he got
can't be driving around with that.
Yeah, they pulled him over that much to threaten to take the car off him. So he had to then make it full-blown standard lettering, the whole lot. And when you make it standard lettering, at a quick glance, it actually says Bible. Now, not that this guy's a Christian or an atheist or has any give a fuck about it. But when you look at it now, it's a giant big blue Jeep that says Bible on the front of it.
A friend of mine has the number plate E1BAY, which looks pretty much like eBay. I thought that was pretty cool.
The license plate on that actual Capri that I have, and I don't care because it's not even registered, is CUI 1116, and I plan to get that done in a barcode sort of font because I think that CUI 1116 would look fantastic in barcode. And as a side note, bought the car when the daughter was pregnant, did a history search on the car after I bought it. It has had 14 owners from me. Nobody has done any work on it since the actual, this country made lead illegal because the engine still has the lead seals on the top of it. And the car was actually registered in the same town that my daughter was born in. Which is just a complete and utter coincidence.
Wow. And
it was bought for her, so yeah. Well, on that, we will end this stream. And Arti.
Like Christine. Are you sure that car can kill people?
Maybe. We'll see. It's got a long bonnet. You could probably put at least 3 bodies on the bonnet of a Capri. And
I'll drive it.
Yeah, and still be able to see.
MathPig, if you want to end this, you want to go out with an outro?
Have you an outro?
I got an outro.
Is it what I think it is?
No, it's definitely not what you think it is.
Right, you are now solo screen.
Well, goodbye. 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 Enjoy yourself. Bye. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
For Brains Down Under.
Okay, now we're live. Here, Peter, just to say, everything you say is now going out over it, so go on ahead, say your bit.
Yeah, okay, so Shut for Brains Down Under, that's Not Your Witness. And then another one who's mentioned in there is Grumpy Old Dave, Alt-Height.
Just as a wee shout out, I just noticed as well, also, Catherine. Thank you very much for turning up, Catherine. I think I'm saying that correctly. Appreciate new viewers, appreciate people coming in. Share it out, like it out. All the bits and bobs are in the description, except for Artimus's actual Twitter. I forgot to put that in. But yeah, if you like what you see, come back for more, and appreciate everybody.